afternoon. This is Dr. Do again. This video is outside of medicine. Today is going to I'm going to continue read Psalm. Today we're on Psalm number 15. I'm going to read Psalm 15. Psalm 15, a Psalm of David. Lord, who may dwell in your sanctuary? Who may live on your holy hill? He whose walk is blameless, and who does what is righteous, who speaks the truth from his heart, and has no slander on his tongue, who does his neighbor no wrong, and casts no slur on his fellow man, who despises a vile man, but honors those who fear the Lord, who keeps his oath, even when it hurts, who lends his money without usury, and does not accept a bribe against the innocent. He who does these things will never be shaken. So this is Psalm 15, a Psalm of David. Again, did not say when or under what circumstances he wrote this. But this is very short. Just say who are the good people in the eyes of God. Okay, who are the non-worldly people? Who are the godly people? So, Lord, who may dwell in your sanctuary? Who may live on your holy hill? Who can your sanctuary and who can be as pure as you expected? The holy hill and the sanctuary is not just on the mountain, the holy mountain like the old Greek, the prophecies, the lady live on that mountain. I don't think this means that way, but it's just the parable said, stay holy or stay pure in your mind, in your sight. So, who may dwell in your sanctuary? Who may live on your holy hill? Who is pure in your sight, in your point of view, in the Lord, in Lord eyes, in God eyes? He whose walk is blameless, and who does what is righteous. He whose walk is blameless, and who does what is righteous. It's confusing. Who is blameless? We live in the world of real. Always hear the blames. Are they blameless? Could be, even though you're blamed for something. But in God's eyes, you're probably blameless, even though you're blamed by the people surrounding you, because the judgment, the rules to measure you is different from the eyes of God and from the eyes of people. This is what I understand. So, whose walk is blameless, which means in God's eyes, blameless in God's eyes. And who does what is righteous? Again, the righteous is also, there's a different ruler or different criteria to measure the righteous. You probably, like I said, the world is real. You probably are righteous in some people's eyes, but not righteous in other people's eyes. And who can judge whether what you're doing is righteous or not righteous? The God, what you believe, the principle you believe. So that is the who does what is righteous, and who speaks the truth from his heart, and has no slander on his tongue. Again, this is speak the truth from his heart. Sometimes if you hear, you probably hear you need to tell the truth. You cannot lie. And some people say the lie which serves comfort the sorrow is acceptable, is considered as kind and nice. So again, this is it's hard to judge by our eyes, by the world criteria, by the people saying you are not telling the truth, or you are telling the truth. It's really hard to say. Like the truth to one is right, the truth to other one is wrong. So basically, who is judge? The Lord, and the belief holding in your mind, and what the principle holding each of us. Okay, Who does his neighbor no wrong and casts no slur on his fellow man. Of course, try not to be hurt your neighbors or to slur the friends or fellow man. This is very important. We try to protect the neighbors and also the friends, but sometimes again, it's not just saying it. It's not easy to do. It's because life full of challenge. If you read Psalm of David, of all of those, I'm sure he's trying to do these things, not harming the neighbor, not harm the fellow man. But a lot of times people surrounded him to force him. So David is the chosen king, which doesn't mean he's perfect or he always right, but he know what is right. He know what should do, but sometimes the limitations because he's a human like us, the limitations, even though you want to do the right thing, you intended to do the right thing, doesn't mean the consequence comes out as you expected or comes out as right. So just make sure you follow this, keep this in mind. My principle is no harm to neighbor, no harm to the fellow man, but doesn't mean your will be carried out in the real life. Even though you meant to do good, turns out probably not as good as you expected, because there's so many things, so many factors, so many people surrounded. Your good intention probably turned out as a disaster. It happens to all of us. But the principle is, do not harm the neighbors, do not harm the fellow man. Okay? It doesn't mean it not happen. It happens to all of us. Your good intention to protect your friends probably turned out to be harmful. It happens in the movies. If you recall the Harry Potter, remember? Hermione, they formed an organization called Dumbledore's team, Dumbledore's Legion. And turns out that the enemies use this protective good intention to attack him, that he has his own force to against the ministry. So if you remember, this is just an example I put here. May fit or may not fit, but think about this. Even though your good intention, very strong, but still may turn out not as good as expected. But the principle is not harming the neighbor, not harming the fellow man. Okay? Who despises a wild man, but honors those who fear the Lord. Again, the principle is try not to follow those wild men who despise and honor those supposed to be honored, and who keeps his oath even when it hurts, and try to say what you meant to do. But sometimes it's, again, these are the principles. Nobody does this all the time. I guarantee it. I mean, this doesn't mean I'm such a person without principle. I tried very hard to do the good thing to please the Lord or please the principle. But it's sometimes we're limited. I am limited. We're limited. My good intention just turned out very bad, making me feel sad. I think this happens to everybody. So, who lends his money without usury, or who does not accept a bribe against the innocent? Again, these are the principles. No bribe, no too tight hands on the money. Spending money is it needs a wise man, a mind of wise. That's what I mean. Not the wise man. The mind of wise to spend money. These days, we are making money, spend money. That's the balance. How, in what kind of special way? There's so many investment or friends or gifts or family. It's just not easy. I find out it's very challenging. I cannot say it with any stronghold because I'm not good on managing money. I try to be generous, but sometimes you like I said, even though you try to be generous, it turns out a disaster. It's not your kind thought turns out is not that taken as kindness. So these are all the principles. We all, what we have to do is try, okay? Try the best. How does these things who does these things will never be shaken. So So if you have these principles in your mind to guide your day, to guide your heart, to keep your mind sober and sober, so will keep your feet straight. Of course, everybody sleep had the wandering fall, like David himself so many times. But just to keep this as a principle, when something goes wrong, you do not feel discouraged, do not feel very sad or sorrow, but just remember we are people, we are human, we all have our limitations. So regardless of what happens, just keep this in mind. So read Psalm 15, probably it's helpful in guiding our daily life and interpret in the way you on your comprehension or understanding. So that is Psalm 15, even short, but I took a little long time to explain this or to talk about this. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you next time.